I have a couple like bullets where I have questions on Alberto, the fighter, the coach, the family man, like all these different hats that you wear. And one of them you just lead it into is Alberto Crane, the coach. And I don't know if you remember this. I reference this a lot for people, but I did my first cold plunge with you. And we came down and I had taken cold showers and I was like, it's the same thing. And I
Yeah.
got in, dude, and I think I did like 40 seconds and I was like, I got to get out of here. And then you got in and did like 2 minutes easy and got out. And I was like, man. And then another one of your black belts, I forget his name offhand, the younger guy is like 18, like good looking kid. He got in there and then he did like and I was like, man. And all I could think about all day was like, what a little bitch I was for getting out after like 40 seconds. But then we hung out like, I would think we were there for like 9 or 10 hours that day. So we went back in and I was like, dude, I only want to do a minute. That's it. Like if I can just do a minute, I'm happy. And we got in and you were like counting down and then you started counting different and then you were throwing other things out and then you asked me and I was like looking at you, I was like, dude, I'm getting pissed off, like I'm freezing, what are you doing? And then you were like, what are you talking about, dude? Like we're on a beach, like 42 30, and like totally threw me off. And then all of a sudden you were like, dude, you've done over 2 minutes already. And I was like, oh. And I got out and you were like, great job. And I was like, man, I literally didn't even think I was capable of that, but you coached me through twice what I thought my maximum potential was. And that's when I was like, that's a great coach. A great coach knows how to Jedi mind trick you to exceed what your own personal limitations are. And you're always my shining example of that, man. And I'm always blown away by that. How did you learn to do that? Because that's a real skill in leadership and coaching that I don't think a lot of people have.
My book, All In, right? losing for 13 tournaments before I finally won one. Losing for almost 3 years, right, straight. Either first or second match in the tournaments. Just the resilience, right, and just keep showing up even when you feel like you suck or you're not worthy or you're not good enough, and then coming up on top after all that. And I think there's some kind of studies of athletes, right? That, like, look at Tom Brady. He's been on my feed of his when the NFL drafted him, right, and all his story, and then that what's his name, Mendoza, he won the national championship for Indiana.
I'm not sure.
Fernando Mendoza. So he was like he applied for like 140 D1 schools. Nobody wanted him. Some California university brings him on as a fourth string quarterback, whatever, and then he gets cut at the end, right? At the end of the season, right? And then he applies for Indiana, the losingest program in the country. Then the coach believed in him, whatever. They go undefeated, and then they win the national championship against University of Miami. He grew up like a block away from University of Miami. That was his dream school to go to. They didn't even let him walk on. Right? You can see this. There's like a couple months ago.
No.
And then he does you gotta look him up. You gotta look at his winning touchdown that he does too. He runs it in and runs in the scoring the winning touchdown to win the game to beat University of Miami for the national championship.
Sick.
And so I don't know what were we talking about before. Just all the just the losing and having to stay in the pocket when your chips are down, when you're down on your luck and keeping in there. I think that's what makes you so resilient. And I think whatever life throws at you, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be good. And it changes because when you don't have anything, all you have is your mind and how you look at things, right? And because your mind is so hard, your mind is so tough, like you're able to accomplish anything.
But how do you as a coach pass that on to, because like especially new fighters coming up, we look at you, we look at Matt, Sarah, and we're like, well, you guys have done all this stuff, but don't realize that you were in those shoes too. And you found the right words. Like if you would have started out by being like, dude, I'm gonna just distract you for 2 minutes, I'd be like, no, dude. But like you knew exactly how to get the best out of me, which I feel like is a really good instinct that a great Longo's got that, Matt's got that, you have that. But I feel like, is that something you studied or something that was just an instinctual part of how you teach?
I've been doing it for so long, right? I've been coaching for over 25 years now, right? So I think experience, right, for sure helps. But I think you have an intuition, right, with of knowing, understanding people a little bit, right, as well. And like, yeah, I don't even know what we did, but just putting your mind somewhere else, right? So connecting with the people. I think I've been in the wrestling world these last couple of years, and I've been talking to a lot of the kids that are like top ranked in the country, in the States, and they were talking about what gives them confidence. I asked them, and I basically do like a little private podcast for myself, so I know what gave them confidence, right? And I talk to my daughter too, and what gives them confidence? Being uncomfortable, and then trying again, and then at the end of it, you're more you grow, because you're not going to grow being comfortable, right? So you grow when you're uncomfortable, and our tendency is to stay in the comfortable, but we're not going to grow, we're not going to get better, right? Being comfortable. And so I think for them, from what all the kids that I talk to and stuff, it's always seems like that's the same pattern, doing things that make you uncomfortable, right? Whether it's a big deal that's maybe out of your league that you don't have experience with, and trying and then maybe failing big, right? And then learning from that, like what's his name? What's the 10 times guy?
Grant Cardone?
Yeah, Grant Cardone, right? He lost big, right? He overextended himself.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm never going to let that happen again. But he played big. He played big, and because of that, now I mean, I don't think he was even close, right, to what he is now. But I don't know. I think just going for it and then being okay with failing. My daughter too, which is competing in jiu-jitsu a lot, right? It's like she understands, and I understood that, like trying and being okay with failing, not getting caught up on the result of what happens. If it's like winning a gold medal or winning or losing in the deal, but like maybe trying to learn from it, right? To be better, more experienced, getting experience from it, right? Because I think business, whatever it is, right? It's all experience, a way to learn. So I think that's my take. Just by doing it, right? Doing it and failing, really
Yeah.
failing, doing it and failing, and then trying again.